Now guys, let's move on to our next page, which is color page. Now just like Fusion page, DaVinci Resolve color page also works on node system, but we have few differences between the color page node and the Fusion node. Now on the top right corner we have effects. Now you can add these effects on your color page node. This is our node timeline and this is our clip. You can add multiple clips and then you can select clips and color grade that clip if you want to. Now let's hide these clips. And on top left corner we have gallery. You can save your personal or customized LUTs in gallery and then you can use them in your projects. Now we have LUTs as well. You can use these LUTs according to the camera and their profile. Now we have media pool in color page as well. You can drag and drop this media in here and use them. And in preview window we can switch to different timeline if you want to. You can switch to timeline number 5 for example. I can switch to timeline number 3 and then to timeline number 6 which we currently working on. Now in here we have color wheels. You can use these to color grade your footage. We have HDR as well. Now we have different features. Right here we have curve, we have color warper, qualifier, masking window, tracking and etc. Now guys, you can also switch to different scope if you want to. Just click on this drop menu and then you can switch to parade, to vector scope and to histogram, etc. Now guys, right here we have keyframe animation as well. You can add keyframe and add your animation here as well. And now you can zoom in and zoom out your node timeline as well. You can select this and you can drag this timeline if you want to. And you can also using your mouse scroll to move your timeline of node as well. And if you want to view your footage preview in full screen, then you have to press Ctrl+F to view it in full screen. And if you want to minimize this, all you have to do is just click on here, or you can use this shortcut key which is Ctrl+F. So guys, this is the introduction of DaVinci Resolve color page. So basically the color page works on node system, which is very simple once you understand its process. Now guys, next we have parallel node and layer node, and let me show you the difference between layer node and parallel node. So first I'm going to select add layer node, and now I'm going to the edit page, and let me show you what is difference between the layer node and the simple layer. So first I'm going to drag this layer and drop this, place this on top of this layer. So this is our layer number 1 and this is our layer number 2. So if I place another layer on top of this layer, then we show this result. Then the preview window show us the latest or the top one result. So if I disable this layer, then we have this layer, and if I disable this layer, then we have this layer. So the preview window show us that video which is placed on the topest position of these layer. So I'm going to select these layer and I'm going to delete them. And now let's go to the color page, and in color page this is our layer placed on top and this is the below one. So let me show you what I mean. So this is layer number 2 and this is layer number 1, but in color page it work opposite. This is layer on top of this layer is present to you as layer number 2. So if I add something to this layer, for example if I add, let me just increase my gain to the right side, then you can see the changes is appear on this node but not on the preview screen, because this is the below layer and this is the above layer. In color page it work opposite side. So if I have to select this layer, this is the node number 2 which is placed on top, and I'm going to change this to blue, and then we have this blue color. And if you want to see the results of this color, this node, first node, you have to press Ctrl+D to disable this node, and now we have this node. And now if I select this node and press Ctrl+D to enable this node, then we have this node appears. So guys, this is how layer node work. Now I'm going to delete this node, reset this node, and now I'm going to add a parallel node. And unlike layer node, the parallel node show us the second node result as well. So if I increase the result, if I increase my gain to blue, we can see the blue. And if I select this node and increase my gain to red, then it will combine these two results and show us our final result. So once again I'm going to change my gain to red, and on this node I'm going to change my gain to more like this. And now what it does, it combine these two results and send them here and send them in our output and show us this result. So this is the difference between the parallel node and the layer node. Now final guys, we have add outside. Now what it does, in our masking window, if I add simple a mask, and if you want to see the masking area, just click on this one, or you can just press shift plus H to view this masking area. And now I'm going to increase the size of this mask. And now first guys, we have this mask. Now if you want to invert this mask, you can do that as well. Just click here. Or if you want to invert this mask in another node, you can do that as well. Just right click here, add node, and now add outside. And now we have the inside and we have the outside. So this is how the outside node work. And now guys, next we have save as share node. And now how this node work, first I'm going to drag some clips here. And now we have 4 clips. So if I click on clips, we have 4 clips. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this as share node, and I'm going to copy this node, and I'm going to select all my clips, and I'm going to paste this node. And now if I make some changes on this save as share node, then this node will affect all our clips. So if I select this node and make some changes, for example change the offset, and the offset of all these nodes will also be changed. And if you want to delete this save as share node, just click on this delete save share node, click here, and now the node will be deleted. Now guys, next we have delete node. If you want to delete this node, you can also press backspace, or you can right click and delete this node. So now guys, we have color wheels. Now go to the color wheels, and in here in color wheels we have first lift. Now lift will affect the dark part of your footage. So for example, I have this graph, and in this area, in this dark part, if I decrease my lift, it will make this part a little bit darker, or decrease the light of that area. And if I increase my lift, it will now bring light to that dark part. Now I'm going to reset this, and now let's go back to our footage. And now if I decrease my lift, you can see in our dark area of this footage is now affecting. And if I increase my lift, you can see it now have some light on our dark part. Now let's reset this, and now in my scope, if I increase my lift, you can see this lift is now push these values of the dark part of our footage upward. So now if I increase my lift, you can see it push these value upward, and if I decrease my lift, it now bring these value down. So let's reset this. And now you can also add a color if you want. For example, I'm going to add this color, and now let's lower our lift. So you can also add a color if you want to. So now guys, next we have gamma. Now we use the gamma to increase the light of our shot. So for example, let's go to this color chart, and I'm going to increase my gamma. You can see it now bring light to our chart, and if I decrease my gamma, it now decrease the light of our shot. And now let's go back to our footage, and I'm going to increase the gamma. You can see it brings the light, and now if I decrease my gamma, it's now making our shot a little bit darker. And in our scope, I want you guys to focus on this point. The gamma is now bring these value upwards, and if I decrease my gamma, it's now bring these down. It's now bring the value from this area upward or either down. And now in gamma, you can also add a color if you want. So I'm going to add this color, and I'm going to increase my gamma. You can see it's now bring light to our shot, and if I decrease my gamma, you can see we have this dark shot. So this is before and this is after. So guys, next we have gain. So now in our chart, the gain is affect the light part of our shot. So for example, if I decrease my gain, you can see it's now affect this part. It's now bring these value down or bring these value upward. So if I reset this gain, go to our footage, and now focus on this point on our scope, you can see it's now bring this value down, or you can bring this value upward. And you can also add a color if you want to, and it will add that color just like that. And now next guys, we have offset. Now offset will bring all these value either upward, or either you can bring this value down. So if I increase my lift, you can see it's now bring these value upward or bring this value downward. And now in our chart, you can see it's now bring this value upward or downward. So guys, next we have color log. So now in our color log, we have same offset, but we have three different wheel. We have shadow, we have midtone, and we have highlights. So let's go to our highlight wheel. So now highlight wheel will affect the highlight of our chart. So for example, if I increase this highlight wheel, you can see it's now affecting the highlight of our chart. And if I decrease this highlight wheel, you can see it's now affect the highlight. It is now decreasing the light of that highlight. So now let's go to our shot, and if I increase my highlight, you can see it bringing the light to the highlights. And if I decrease my highlight, it's now. And now if I want you guys to focus on this scope, if I decrease my highlight, you can see it's only affecting this area. These are the highlight part. You can see it's now affecting that part only, but not the whole scope. And now we have midtone, and midtone will affect this part only. So if I increase my midtone, you can see it's now affecting that part only, but not the whole scope. And now guys, finally we have shadow. Now the shadow will affect this part of our scope. So if I increase my shadows, now making them softer and bringing them upward. And if I decrease my shadow, you can see it's now making them a little bit sharper and bringing these value down. So now let's reset this graph. Now guys, let's go back to our color wheels, and we have these features also available in our color wheel. First we have auto balance. If I click on this auto balance, it's now auto balance my shot. So it will take a couple of seconds to auto balance our shot, and now it's done. So this is before and this is after. Now guys, next we have this white balance. Now if I have too much warmer color in my shot, then I can just simply click my face, and now it will eliminate that color. And now if I have too much blue color in my shot, then I can just click here, select this white balance, select the sky, and it will eliminate that blue color from my shot. And now guys, next we have temperature and we have tint. Now if I increase this temperature to the right side, it will add a warmer color to my shot, and if I push this color to the left side, then it will add a blue color to my shot, a cold color to my shot. And in our tint, if I push this color to the right side, it will add a red color to my shot, and if I push this color to the left side, then it will add a green color to my shot. And you can also mix these two colors if you want to. And now guys, next we have contrast. So now if I increase the value of this contrast, you can see in my scope it will spread these value from this point. And if I decrease my contrast, it's now shrinking my scope. So you can also control this contrast using the pivot. So if I increase my contrast, let's say to this point, then I can use my pivot to control my contrast. And now I have this contrast. So this is before and this is after. Now guys, next we have mid and detail. So if you want to add more detail to your shot, just increase this value. And if you want to make your shot a little bit softer or decrease the detail of your face, all you have to do just decrease the mid and detail, and it will make your face or the video soft. So this is before and this is after. And here we have color boost and we have the saturation. So if I increase this color boost, let's say I increase this color boost and I'm going to add another node, and in this node I'm going to increase my saturation to 100. So this is the difference between the saturation and the color boost. So this is the saturation. I'm going to add sat, and for this node I'm going to add a name called boost. So if I disable this node, you can see this is the color boost node. So if I disable this node and enable saturation node, this is our saturation node. So this is the saturation node and this is the color boost node. Color boost node will boost all your color in your shot, but the saturation just add more colors to your shot, just bringing them a little bit up, not too much like the color boost. So I'm going to delete these. So now guys, next we have the shadow. Now you can add light to your shot by bringing this shadow up, or you can bring this down to decrease the light from your shot from the shadow part. And now we have the highlight as well. You can either increase your highlight or decrease your highlight if you want to. It will affect only the highlight and this will affect only the shadow. And now we have the hue. You can also switch the color values by increasing this hue to the right side or to the left side. So guys, finally we have the luma mix. So if I decrease the value of this luma mix all the way to 0, you can see nothing is happened to our shot. So I'm going to reset this node and let's go to our color bars, and in our color bars we have the same values. We have the lift, gamma, gain and the offset. And in our gain, if I increase the value of this red in our gain, you can see in our scope the gain of the red is increasing, but it also affecting the others two color as well. So if you want to affect only one color, you can just do that. Just bring this luma mix to 0, and now if I bring this value red upward, you can see it is now affecting this value only. It is now affecting one color values only, but not the three value at once. So if I reset this, now increase this, you can see the other two is now affecting as well. So if you want to affect only one color, just decrease this to 0 and now increase the value. So this is how you can use luma mix. And final guys, in our log wheel we have finally these two range. We have the range down and range up. So these values are for controlling our shadow. So if I increase my shadow, let's increase this right here, and if you want to bring this range down, just decrease this, or you can also increase this if you want to. If you want to increase the value, you have to decrease your shadow and now increase the value. So this is how you can control your shadow as well. So these are the color wheels guys that you can use in our color page to color correct or color grade your shot. So let's go to our HDR grades, and we have this multiple color wheels. So if you want to see what this color wheel does, all you have to do is just click on this icon and it will show you that part of your video that will affect if you change the value of this wheel. So for example, if I add a blue color, you can see it now adding a blue color only this part of my image. And in our shadow you can see if I increase a red value, it is now increasing or adding a red value only this part of my image. And now in our light you can see it is now adding a light only to this part of my image. And next we have the highlight. You can also add highlight if you want to, and it is now adding this color only in our highlight. And we have final, which is global, that will affect your whole shot. And if you want to change the color, all you have to do, for example, if I add let's say a blue color, I can also change its saturation, I can also change its exposure, and you can also increase this value to select a color range from these color wheels. So guys, these are our HDR grades. So now guys, next we have these curves. So this part of the curves will affect the highlight of your footage, and this part will affect the shadow of your footage. So if I add a point here and bring this point upward, you can see our highlight is now increasing, and if I bring this point down, you can see our highlight is now decreasing. And similar to this point, I can now add a point to our shadow part and now soft my shadow, or I can now harsh my shadow as well. And now you can also switch to different color. We have red, we have green, and we have blue. You have to unlink this, and now I can bring this point upward, and now I can select the red curve the green curve and the blue curve as well. And we have a different method to select this curve. All you have to do is just reset your curve, link these values. Now select a particular value. For example, I'm going to select red, and if I bring this red curve upward, you can see it is now adding a red color to our footage. And if I bring this point down, you can see it is now adding a greenish color to our highlight. I can now add a red color to our shadows or a greenish color to our shadows. Now I can select the green, and now I can add green color to our highlight or the pink color to our highlight. And similar to this point, I can now add green color to our shadows or the pink color to our shadows. And now finally guys, we have the blue color. You can either add a blue color to your shot, to your highlight, or the yellow color to your highlight. And you can also add a blue color to your shadows or a yellow color to your shadows. Now I'm going to select this point, link these values, and I'm going to increase my highlight, and I'm going to decrease my shadow as well. Now guys, down here we have the soft clip. You can also soften these value if you want to. I'm going to add a soft shadow to my shot, or I can now decrease my highlight as well. And down here you can also soften these value even more. And there you go. So guys, this is our simple curve. So now guys, next we have hue versus hue. So what it does, it switches the color values. So for example, if I select this line and bring this line up, you can see the color is now switching. And if you want a particular color to switch its color, you can also do that. Just I'm going to bring this line upward, and I'm going to select the red color, which is my face color of this shot, and I'm going to bring this to its original position. And there you go. So this is before and this is after. And now guys, next we have the hue versus saturation. So if you want to change the saturation of a particular color, you can also do that. So I'm going to select the blue color of this truck, and I'm going to increase its saturation all the way to up. And I'm going to select the face color, the face value, which is red, and I'm going to bring this point upward. And now as you can see, the face is now increasing its saturation. And you can also decrease the saturation if you want to. Just bring this line down or the upward to increase the saturation. So this is the hue versus saturation. And you can also bring this line up or down if you want to, and select a particular color or increase saturation. And now the only red color is now increasing its saturation except from all these colors. And now guys, next we have the hue versus luma. So what it does, if I select my face value, which is red, and increase this value or bring this point upward, you can see the light is now adding to this color. And if I bring this point down, you can see a dark value is now adding to this color. So this is the hue versus luma. So guys, next we have the luma versus saturation. So this part will affect the shadow part of your footage, and this part will affect the highlight of your footage. So if I select this point and bring this point upward, you can see the highlight is now increasing its saturation. And if I bring this point downward, you can see the shadow part in our footage is now decreasing its saturation. Or you can also increase the shadow saturation as well if you want to. And guys, next we have the saturation versus saturation. It is similar to the luma versus saturation graph, but except you can just add a minor values of the saturation in this graph. So for example, I'm going to add another node to explain this graph, and I'm going to name this luma versus sat, and for this I'm going to name this sat versus sat, which is saturation versus saturation. So now I'm going to bring the saturation of the shadow part up, all the way up, and select the first node, and I'm going to increase the saturation of the shadow part. And now guys, if I disable my saturation versus saturation node, you can see this is our luma versus saturation shadow highlight all the way to 100, and this is the saturation versus saturation. Shadow area, shadow part of your footage, bring the saturation to 100. So the saturation versus saturation will add more saturation to your shot, whereas the luma versus saturation will add a minor values of the saturation to your shot in your shadow part or in your highlight. So this is a minor difference between these two. So guys, finally in this curve we have our saturation versus luma. So you can either add a light to your shadow part, or add a dark value to your shadow part, or a dark value to your highlight, or a light to your highlight as well. So if I bring this point upward, you can see it is now adding light to our shadows, or it is now decreasing our shadow and adding a dark light. Similar to this point, you can now also add light to your highlight or add a dark value to your highlight, and you can also change this by using this value. So I'm going to reset this curve, and I'm going to select my hue versus saturation, and I'm going to increase this point upward, increase this line, bring this line upward, select my face value and bring this line to its original position. And now you can also change this value by selecting this slider, this value. And now guys, you can also select a point, select a color from your video. So for example, I'm going to select this blue color, and now I can switch these two different colors. But if you want to switch these two different color efficiently, all you have to do is just select the color from down below, and now check this out. So guys, this is the curve in our color page. Now guys, next we have color warper. Now using this color warper, you can also color grade your footage. For example, I'm going to, in my footage, I can now select the sky, and now I can drag this to the bluish side to add a blue color like this. Now you can add more controls if you want to, you can add more points if you want to. Just reset this color warper, and now you can add these points from here. Now we have more controls. Now I can now change the sky color, and now I can also change the skin color of our subject. So this is before and this is after with the color warper. Now let's reset this, and let me explain you these tools. So first we have the move tool, that you can now select multiple points if you want to, like this, and then you can change these points to any direction. Now guys, in second we have the draw selection. You can draw multiple points and then let go, and then click here again to change these points to any direction. And now next we have this pin depin, which is used to, when you select these points, it is now pin. And now if I click here selection, and now I can select the sky, and only that point will change but not the whole graph. You can see only this point is now changing its direction, but not all the graph, not all the net. So let me just reset this, and now if I select the sky and change its direction, you can see all the points moving along with that point that we selected. And now guys, next we have this pull points, which is used when you want to desaturation a point. So now our footage is now desaturated like this. So this is before and this is after, and this is for the saturation. If you want to increase saturation of a point, just click here and it will increase the saturation of that point. And for desaturation, you can also click a point and now desaturate its value. And now guys, next we have this increase, fall, off or smooth selection. You can click here. First I'm going to select this, and now I'm going to draw a points, and now I'm going to click here, and it will add more points around these points. So now if I click here, you can see it add more point. And if you want to decrease this point, if you want to minus these point, all you have to do is just click here and it will deselect that points. And now guys, next we have this invert selection. If you select this area, and if you want to invert this selection, you have to click here and it will invert that selection. So the point that you selected before will now deselected, and the point that you not selected before will selected. and now you can change its direction. And now guys, next we have this convert selection to pin. So if you select this point and if you want to convert this to pin, you have to click here and it will convert that to pin. Now you can change one point direction only, like the sky, like the face. So only that point will move its direction but not the whole chart. And now guys, next we have this select pin column, which is used when you select a line, and if you want to select this line, all you have to do is just click here and it will select only that line, and now you can move its direction. And if you want to select another line, all you have to do is just select a point and now select here and it will select this point. And now guys, next we have this, which is select pin range, and it will select a range. For example, I'm going to click here and it will select its range. So now if I click here, you can see it selects its range. And now if I click here and it will select this range. Let me just move it to 8. And now if I select this point and it will select only this point range. So if I click here, you can see it's selecting its range. And now guys, next we have this, which is select pin all or deselect D pin all. It will select all the chart, and now you can change this direction. And final guys, we have the reset. If you want to reset this point, all you have to do is click here and it will reset this point, but not the reset all the effects. So if I reset this, you can see it also deselect all the point. But if you want to reset your effect, reset your direction to its original position but not reset these points selected, you have to click here to reset its direction. And down below guys, we have these controls. So if I select these point and change its direction, let's say right here, and now I can change its saturation. As you can see on the picture on the previous screen, I can now change its saturation, and now I can add luminance, add light, or I can add a dark value to our footage. And you can also reset this, you can also control this, and now it's now desaturated. So let me reset this. And now guys, in here we have these control as well. We have the temperature and we have the tint that we are available in here. Now we have the grid number 2 and grid number 1. So grid number 2 is this and grid number 1 is this grid. So now I can select here and add a blue color, and now I can add a yellow color if I want to. And for grid number 2 I can add a red color and I can add a green color. So this is the grid and this is the color warper, hue and saturation. So guys, this is how you can use color warper to color grade your footage. So now guys, we have this qualifier. So using this qualifier, you can select a particular part of your video and then only make changes to that part. So for example, I'm going to click here on this qualifier and now I can select my sky. And if you want to view this selected area, just click on the highlight icon to view this selected area. And now guys, using this hue, you can also refine your selection even more if you want to. You can also soften this selection if you want to. And in saturation, you can also make a refined selection like this. And in luminance, you can also refine this even more if you want to. Like this. And now if I go to the color warper and change this color to blue, and now if I click on the highlight icon, you can see the sky is now changing its color. Only that part is now affecting, but not the whole video. So let's reset this and go to the qualifier, and let me explain you these tools. So if you select your face, for example, go to the highlight. So if you want to select more part of your face, so for example, I'm going to click on this plus icon of the qualifier, and now I can add my face even more. And if you want to eliminate some values like in our background, you can now select the minus icon of the qualifier, and then you can select that part that you want to eliminate. And for the plus part, you can add that part to the selection if you want to. And in this feather, you can also add a soften value of that selection that you selected, and you can also eliminate the soften value if you want to. And final guys, we have this invert. If you want to invert this selection, you can also do that. Just click here and this will invert your selection. And now in the color warper, I can now change the color to blue. And now in our final result, you can see this is our final selection. And if you want to refine this selection, you can also do that. Just to go to the qualifier, and this man finance, you can also clean this selection if you want to. Like this. So now I'm going to reset my grid, reset my node, and now we have these more control. You can also use the RBG selection to select the part. You can also use the qualifier luminance, and final guys, we have the qualifier 3D. So in the qualifier 3D, you can also, for example, I'm going to select my face. I'm going to draw lines on my face. You can select this plus icon to add more lines to your face or the selection that you want to select. And now I can eliminate that part that I don't want to select. So for the plus icon, you can add the selection. For the minus bar, you can eliminate that selection. And you can also refine the selection. And in here we have the soft, we have the flat, we have the tight, and we have the luminance. That two part selected is now showing that results. We have the soft result that we selected the area, we have the flat result of our selection, we have the tight result of our selection, and finally we have the luminance result of our selection. So I'm going to select the soft, and now if I click here on the highlight, go to the color wrapper and change the color to blue, something like this. And now I can now invert this selection, and now check this out. I'm going to add a slightly bluish color like this. So now check this out. So guys, this is how you can use the qualifier. So now guys, next we have this masking window. Now in our masking window, we have this multiple mask. We have the linear, we have the circle, polygon, curve, and we have the gradient mask. Now using these masks, you can cut out something from your video. So for example, I'm going to select the circular mask, and now guys, if you want to view the masking area, you have to click on this highlight icon and it will show you that part that you selected. So you can also invert the selection if you want to. Just click here and it will invert that selection. And you can also increase the size of this mask. You can also tilt this mask, you can change its position, rotate this mask, soften the mask if you want to. And you can also, in our preview window, you can also make these changes. And now guys, next we have this pen, we have this curve mask that you can make a customized selection. If you want to make a customized selection, then you have to select this curve mask, and now I can now select my subject. I'm just making a rough mask around my subject, and now my subject is now selected. And if you want to invert this, you have to click here. And now guys, if you want to add multiple masks, then you can also do that. So for example, we have these options. I can now select the gradient mask and it will show you me that part of my mask that I selected. And if I want to invert this, I can now invert this. So it is now showing me inside of this curve mask. So now if I make some changes, for example, I'm going to add this value. And now if I click on this highlight, you can see only this part is not affecting, but the whole video is now affecting from this color wrapper. So if I play this video, you can see we have this mask that we added to our subject. So now guys, if we go to our masking window and if we select a circular mask around our subject, and now if we click on the highlight, you can see this is our masking area. But if we go to the edit page, you can see we don't have any masking area, we don't have any cutout from our video. So if you want to show this result to our edit page, all you have to do is just right click here and now add alpha output, and now connect this to our masking data. And now if we go to the edit page, you can see we have this masking data. And if we place this on top layer, and if we play this video lower layer, you can see we have this subject cut out from the video and we have our background. And now if we want to delete this alpha output, first disconnect this and now remove alpha output, and it will remove this. Now guys, next we have this tracking window that you can track something. So for example, I'm going to go to the masking area, and in our masking area I'm going to select my curve tool, and I'm going to draw a mask around my face. For example, I'm going to select the circular mask, and I'm going to place this right here on my subject face. And now I can go to the tracking, and I can now drag this forward, and it will now drag that mask around my subject face. So now this mask is now attached to my face, and now I can change its color grading. For example, I can now add this, or I can now invert this selection and go to the effects, and now I can add a blur effects if I want to. And now check this out. And now guys, if I go to the tracking window and show you the preview of this video, you can see the mask is now attached to our face, and the blur is now affecting the whole video but not our face. And now I can go to the curve, and now I can decrease my highlight like this. Now check this out. So this is how you can use this tracking window. So if you want to add a customized mask, then you can also do that. Just click here on this curve mask, and now I can add a mask around my subject face. I'm just adding a rough mask. And now if I go to the tracking window and track backward and forward, you can see we have this mask. And now if I go to the mask, invert this mask, and now add a direction blur, let's say, and soften this mask out like this, then you can see we have this effect. So using this tracking window, you can make a customized selection if you want to. If you want to track backward and forward, then you have to track on this icon, then you have to click on this icon. And if you want to track backward, then click on this icon. And if you want to track only forward, then click on this icon. And now guys, go to the camera, and you can also stabilize this video if you want to. Just click here, and it will now stabilize your video. And now our video is now stabilized, and we have this tracking mask placed on our subject face. And now guys, in our final, we have the track effects. If you want to track effects, then you can also do that. So I'm going to reset this node, and now I'm going to add a radial blur, and I'm going to decrease its strength all the way to 0. And now right here you can add a point to track. So I'm going to track this truck behind me, behind our subject. I'm going to add another point, and now I'm going to place this right here. So now if I click on this track forward, you can see it is now tracking the truck. And now if I increase the strength of our radial blur, you can see it is now tracking that area. So this is how you can use tracking. So now guys, our next window is our blur mist window. So go to this window, and you can, using this radius, you can control your blur. You can blur your video, or you can sharpen your video if you want to. And you can control the sharpness by using this HV ratio. And you can also go to the sharpen window, this blur sharpen, and you can even increase the scale of the sharpness. You can even sharpen more your video if you want to. And using this blur mist window, you can add a mist to it like this. You can control its HV ratio. So this is our blur mist window, and I'm going to reset my node. And now I'm going to go to the color warper, and I'm going to add this color, and I'm going to the key window. And in our key window, if you want to lower the opacity of this node, all you have to do is just come to this key output gain, and you can also lower this gain if you want to. And now check this out. This is the 0 gain, and this is our 0.3 gain. So this is before and this is after. So now guys, our final window is our sizing window. And guys, in our edit sizing node, all these controls are available in our edit inspector, so you can also change them right here. So this is our sizing window. So guys, in our color page we have different kind of scope. Right now I'm using the parade scope which use RGB colors, so I can now color grade my video by watching these scopes. And now I'm going to switch to waveform, and you can also balance your shot by using this scope. And I'm going to reset this node, and now next we have our vector scope. And now guys, in our vector scope you can click here and you can check this show skin tone indicator. So this is our skin tone indicator. Now we use vector scope to correct our skin tone. So skin tone lie on this line. So what I'm going to do guys is I'm going to make a selection on my face, make a mask on my face, and what I'm going to do guys is I'm going to increase this offset to the right side like this. And now I'm going to click here, and now check this out. So what I'm going to do guys is I'm going to add a layer, and now just click here and connect this to the lower and connect this to the upper side. So this is our upper layer and this is our lower layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this, and I'm going to go to the color warper, and I'm going to select my face. Now let's click on the highlight, and we have our skin tone right here. So this is before and this is after. So by using these kind of scope, these are different kind of scope. Next we have the histogram and we have the SEA chromaticity. So you can use these scope to color correct or color grade your videos in our color page. And guys, if you want to add multiple scope, if you want to view the multiple scope, you have to click on this window right here. And now guys, right now we have 4 scope. You can also switch to 2, you can switch to 1, and now you can back switch to 4. And now let's close this window, and this window will appear right here. So these are different kinds of scope that we use in our color. So guys, in our color page we also have keyframe. So switch to keyframe, just click on this icon and we have this keyframe window. So right now you're not seeing any keyframe because these are minimized right here. Just click on this expand and it will expand the option. Now we have qualifier, color correction and gradient wheel, and we have the power curve as well. So what I'm going to do guys, I'm going to minimize this and I'm going to add a keyframe. Just click on this diamond button and it will add a keyframe. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower my highlight, and now I'm going to come to this point and I'm going to increase my highlight, and I'm going to switch to red, and I'm going to add a slightly green to it. So now if we play this video, you can see we have this curve animation. You can also go to the color warper, change this to here, and now come to this point, and now I can change this to our yellow right here. And now we have the color warper keyframe appear on this screen as well. Now we have the curve animation and we have the color warper animation as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select these keyframes and I'm going to place these right here. So now we have these keyframes animation. So now if you want to color grade your sizing window, all you have to do is just switch to sizing, click here, and now go to our sizing window. And in our sizing window you can see we have this input sizing. So you have to go to the input sizing, and now here we have keyframes for input sizing. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to come to this point and I'm going to zoom in my video. So check this out, we have this zoom in animation and we have the curve and the color warper animation as well. So this is how you can add keyframes, how you can work with keyframes in our color page window. So guys, if you right click here and come to this add node, you can see we have different kinds of node. First we have the connector. So if you delete this connector, you can also add this by right click, and now come to this add node and you can select this connector and connect this green line to this and connect this to our output source. So this is our input source and this is our output source. And now guys, next we have our parallel mixture. So you can just select here, select this parallel mixture, add another corrector, and now connect this to this, and connect this to this, and connect our input to this, and now finally we have this to our output. And now guys, we have our parallel layers. So this is our first node, this is our second node, and this is our parallel connector. So now I can select my first node, make some changes, select my second node, and also add some changes right here. And now this is our parallel node. You can also add this by right click on your node. First connect this to our output source, right click on your node, come to this add node and add a parallel if you want to. And now we have this parallel corrector. Let's delete this, reset this. And next guys, we have our layer mixture. You can also add this similar to our parallel mixture, or you can just right click on your node and add this from this add layer, and we have this layer mixture right here. So now guys, to explain the next mixture, I have this picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click here, go to the add node, and I'm going to add a key mixture. So what key mixture does, so for example, I am going to add multiple corrector. So I'm going to disconnect this, and I'm going to connect this to this, and I'm going to add another corrector, and I'm going to connect this to this. So now what I'm going to do guys, I'm going to select first node, for this number 2 node. I'm going to go to the masking window, and in my masking window I'm going to select this face right here, so if we click here, you can see we have this mask right. I'm going to just increase the size and add a little bit softness to this mask, and I'm going to select my node number 4. And what I'm going to do guys, I'm going to select my subject, just click here, and now I'm going to select my subject. So I'm just adding a rough mask to explain to you why we use key mixture, why we use this mixture. So now we have two masks, we have mask number 1 and we have mask number 2. So guys, why do we use this key mixture? So if you want to mask out multiple things from your video and color grade them separately, then you can use this key mixture. So what I'm going to do guys, next I'm going to add another connector, and I'm going to place these right here, and I'm going to connect this to this mixture. And now guys, next I'm going to connect these masks to our key mixture and connect this to this window. And now we have these two masks in this node. So now you can make some changes. For example, right here we make some changes, and now if we add another node, then you can see we only affect these two things in our video. And if you want to invert this masking selection, you can also do that. Just delete this node and right click here, and you can add outside, and now we have the outside of our mask. And now you can add a separate color to this mask, and now add a node, place it right here, and now we can control multiple things in our video. Now connect this to our outside source, and now I can control these masks separately like this. So I'm going to delete these nodes. So guys, final, if we right click here, you can see we have these two final, we have the splitter and we have the combiner. So I'm going to select the splitter, and I'm going to connect this right here. And now I'm going to add a node, add a serial, place it right here, and I'm going to add another serial, disconnect this, click on this line and connect the second to this input, and now add a final, disconnect this from here, and place it right here and connect the final output to this input. And now we have the splitter, and I'm going to add a combiner, and I'm going to connect this right here, disconnect this, connect this to first, and connect this to our second, and connect this to our third. Now guys, look closely to the splitter and the combiner mixture. You can see we have the red color, then we have the green, and then we have final the blue color. So if you select this corrector, this node, and select this highlight, you can see we have the representation of the red color. Here we have the green color, and finally we have the blue colors. So you can separately control them. All you have to do is just select this combiner, add a final node, and now if you select the red node, if you select the red values, click on the highlight. If you increase the highlight, you can see we have the red, and if you lower, you can see we have the green. And you can see in our parade the only red color is now moving, and in here in our second the green color is now moving, and in our final the blue color is now move. So these are the representation of separate RGBs, so you can also control them separately. And now in our final node, if you want to add a glitch, you can also do that. Just go to the sizing and go to the node sizing, and you can pan this right here, and now we have this green and red RGB, green and red glitch effect. And if you select the green values, pan to the left side, you can see we have the green and the pinkish value glitch, and in our final you can see we have the yellow and the blue glitch. So using these nodes, you can separately control your RGB's color in your video. So if we lower our offset of the red value, you can see we have a blue color in our shot, and now we have this color grade. So guys, this is how you can use these mixture in color page. So now guys, how you can grab still, how you can save your own LUTs and then export them. So guys, first of all, I'm going to explain to you guys why we use these nodes to color grade our footage. So first, I'm going to lower my gain, increase the contrast, and now decrease my gamma as well. So I'm going to label them gamma, gain and contrast. Alright, so this is our first node. Now I'm going to add another node, and on this node what I'm going to do guys, I'm going to go to the lift and increase my lift right about here, and now I'm going to increase my shadow as well, and now I'm going to name this lift shadow. And now I'm going to add another node, and on this node what I'm going to do guys, I'm going to increase my saturation about 70, and now I'm going to go to the hue versus hue, drag this right about here, and now select my red points, and I'm going to drag them to their original position right about here. And now I'm going to rename this, label this as hue and sat. And in final node guys, place this right about here. Now I'm going to and now let's change this to So as you can see, if I want to change something from this footage, from this color grade, I can now select my gamma, gain and contrast, and then I can change them. And if I want to make some changes in my shadow, then I can select this node and then make some changes. For example, I can lower my shadow, I can lower my lift, increase the shadow, and I can now select my saturation and hue, and I can make some adjustment in this node. So as you can see guys, we made several nodes so we can make some adjustment if we want to afterwards. So that's why we use nodes in color page of DaVinci Resolve. And now if you want to save this node, first I'm going to add another node, and in this node I'm going to label this as FX, and now I'm going to add glow effect, and I'm going to increase the spread, change the HV ratio, and change this. So we add a glow. Now what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to click this show your gallery, enable your gallery. Now right click here, and as you can see we have this grab still. So I can now grab still, and this is our still. And now guys, we save this LUT, and now I'm going to delete these nodes, reset this. So now guys, if you want to save this as a picture, you can do that. Just right click here on your picture, on your grab still, and click on this export. Change the location if you want to. And now what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to change this location, and I'm going to rename this as new grade. Now save this. Now I'm here in my saved pictures, and now this is our picture that we saved from the grab still. And now guys, if you want to apply these effects to other footage, then you can also do that. Just go to the edit page, add a footage. Now go to the color page, and in our color page you can just preview this from hovering your cursor from left to right like this. Now I'm going to right click here, and I'm going to apply this grade. And now check this out, we have the same gray node that we applied to that footage. Now you can make some adjustment, like if you want to lower your lift, then you can do that. You can change your gamma or gain, and in this you can change the saturation or the hue if you want to, like this. And in our FX you can change glow range if you want to. So guys, this is how you can grab still and export still in color page. So now let's go to the color warper, and as you can see I have this qualifier on my preview window. I can now select the grass, change its hue, select the sky, change its to blue like this. And if this qualifier isn't available to you, then you have to click here this drop down menu and now select the qualifier. If this is off, you can see we don't have any qualifier on our preview window. If you want to enable this, just click here on this drop down menu and now select the qualifier. And if you go to the masking window, and I'm going to add a circular mask, and as you can see we have these control as well. If this isn't available to you, then you have to click here and now select the power window, and then it will be available for you. Now I'm going to reset this. So now I have this footage right here, and our next mode is image wipe. So go to the gallery, and now right click here and switch to wipe mode. And now if we switch to wipe mode, as you can see we have this wipe mode. Select the wipe mode, click on your gallery, and now right click here and play still. And now as you can see guys, we can now make comparison between our original footage and the footage that we color graded before. So this is the image wipe, and now let's click here to remove these comparison. So guys, for the next mode I have this cat video, and if we switch to dust removal, which is our next mode, and click here, now it shows us our added window which is say unspotted file format. So it only work on DPX and Cineon frame, so we have to save this video as DPX file. So go to the deliver page, click the video, select the custom export and switch this to DPX, and now change its location, and now add render queue, and now render all, and it will render this video as DPX. So we save this video, and right click here and go to open file location, and as you can see we have this DPX file. So go to the DaVinci Resolve and go to the edit, and now I'm going to delete this footage, and now go to the new clip folder, which is our folder. Now we have to select all the files, so press Ctrl all. Now grab this and now drop this right about here. So this is the cat video. Now we have to go to the color page and now switch this to dust removal. Now right click on this dust removal, and now click here and we have multiple options. So I'm going to select the median and I'm going to select draw and clean. We have three options. We can either draw and clean, click and clean, or draw only. So if you select draw and clean and save this, then you have to draw and then it will clean that dust. And if you right click here and switch this to click and clean, then you have to click here to clean the dust. And it will remove that dust. So now if we play this video, as you can see, it removed that dust. So if we click here, remove this dust, as you can see, we have to go frame by frame to remove the dust. So this is how dust removal works. You have to first save your video as DPX file, and then you have to import in edit page and then come to the color page and then switch to the dust removal and apply this effect. So now for the next mode, I have this video. So I'm going to select the OpenFX overlay, which is the next mode, and now go to the effects and search for light rays effect. Now drag and drop this effect on your node, and now as you can see, we have this light rays effect. And if you want to control this effect, then you have to switch to OpenFX and now you can control its direction. If you off this effect, then you can see we don't have the controls on our preview window screen. But if you enable this OpenFX, then you can see we have these control. So if you want to control your effect on your preview window screen, then you have to enable the OpenFX. So for the next preview mode, I have this spider checker picture right here. So right now this picture is oversaturated. So if you want to make a footage on its original form, then you must have a spider checker in your video. So I have the spider checker. So I can now switch to color chart. Now go to the color match, and right here guys, the first color value is cyan, the next is the orange. So your spider checker must match these values. So I can now select different checker to see if this value match my chart. So as you can see guys, this is the cyan value, this is the orange, which we can see are the exact same chart that we have here right now. So what I'm going to do guys, I'm going to align this according to our chart, because this is cyan and this is cyan as well. So I'm going to align this to our cyan value like this. So now we have to click on the match. So now as you can see guys, this is the original footage. So if we turn this off and go to the color wheels, and if I press Ctrl D, you can see this is the before and this is after. And now I can make some changes. I can now color grade this footage. So guys, these are the preview mode in color page. So now in color page we have a feature called short match. So if you want to match a shot to another clip, you can also do that. So go to the edit and then include that shot. So I'm going to match this shot to this color grading shot. So what I'm going to do guys is go to the color page. So first enable the clips from here, and now select your original clip, and now press Ctrl and select that clip that you want to match your shot. So right click here and now select this shot match to this clip, and it will match this shot to this shot, and it will take a couple of seconds, and now there you go. So all you have to do is just now make some adjustment. For example, increase the gamma, increase the gain, or even lower your lift like this. And now I can also select this clip, press Ctrl, select this clip of the Joker, and now right click here and short match to this clip. And all I have to do is just make some adjustment to this clip, and there you go. So guys, this is how you can match your shot to another clip. So in 18 version of DaVinci Resolve, we have a new effect called surface tracker. So go to the effect and search for surface tracker, and now drag this effect and drop this on your node. Now select the part of your subject. In this case I have this cat, so I'm going to drag this part of the cat body, and now select the track, and now select this track forward. So now guys, the tracking is done. So now go to the media pool, and I'm going to drag this Instagram graphics PNG and drop this right here. Now right click on your main node and add an OFX input. So we have this input, and now I can connect this graphic to this video. So now guys, select your main node and now select the result. So now we can adjust the Instagram logo. Like this, and now it will look like that Instagram logo is the part of the cat body. So now guys, we have two methods to add this graphic on cat body. So first select your node and now go to the compositing, and now select this add, and now we have this Instagram graphic. Or you can set this to screen if you want to, like this. Or if you're using the free version, you can also use this method. So right click on this node and now add a layer. So now drag this node right here and drag this as well, and now disconnect these nodes, and now connect this to first one and connect this to the second. Now right click here on the layer mixture, go to the compositing mode and select the add, and now select the main node of the surface tracker, and in the output select the on to blank, and now we have this. So now if I play this video, go to the edit page, and I can play this video, you can see we have this graphic on cat body. Now you can set this to screen if you want to, and now we have this logo. Now you can attach any graphic to this cat body. So guys, this is how you can use surface tracker in DaVinci Resolve 18. So if you want to track a footage in color page, then you can also do that. So go to the effect and search for match move, and now drag this on your main node. And now all you have to do guys is set a point, select an object from your video, and now you can track forward. And we done. And now if you want to attach something on this tracking data, then you can also do that. So first right click here and add an OFX input, and now go to your media, and for example I'm going to select this picture, drag this right here, and now connect this to this data. Now select your main node and switch this to positioning and switch this to composite. So now we can adjust this picture position, like this. Go to the edit page, you can see we have this picture attached to this video. And now I can attach a graphic like this, and now I can adjust its position right here. And now guys, if you want to blend this graphic on this video, you can also do that. Just switch this to compositing and switch this to composite, and now in composite type you can add this graphic, you can screen this graphic, and you can change a mode if you want to, and there you go. So guys, this is how you can track a video in color page using match move effect. So this is my video, and in this video I don't have proper lighting, alright, so I can't really see my face. So we are going to increase the light in our shot. So how do we do that? First you need to select your node and go to the color wheel and check on this auto balance, and it will balance your shot. So if I do before and after, you can see what it does to our shot. Now we are going to increase the gain and decrease the gamma because our shot right now is overexposing. So by decreasing the gain, we are balancing our shot right about here. Now in the shadow, as you can see in this graph, they are touching this line. So I'm going to increase the offset right about here, and now I'm going to decrease the lift right about here, increase the gamma a little bit more and decrease the gain right about here. So this is after and this is before. So still I can't really see my face properly. So what I'm going to do is right click on this node and add a serial. Now go to the masking window and select the circular mask, and we are going to mask around my face. So press Shift H and go, and we are going to increase the size of this mask and increase the softness of this mask right about here. Now place it around your face and go to the color wheel and increase the gamma, decrease the gain just a little bit right about here, and decrease the lift and increase the contrast to make it more pop. Now if I show you before and after, now you know what I was talking about. Now we are going to create a node outside of this masking node. So right click on this node, add a node, and click on this outside node. So what this outside node does, it invert our mask that we just did and paste it on this node. So if I press Shift H, this is the outside mask and this is our mask. It inverted and pasted on this node. Now the next step is we are going to increase the softness and increase the size of this mask, and in outside node press Shift H, and in color wheel decrease the gain right about here. Now go to the effects and select this Gaussian blur and drag and drop this on outside node. So this is before and this is after. So why I created this outside node, decrease the gain and add a blur. So I want the viewer to focus on this subject, not the whole footage. Now our next step is to create a serial and go to the color warper, and I'm going to push this to the greenish side right about here. Don't push it too far, just right here. Now in the offset, I'm going to push it to the greenish side right about here. I'm subtracting the red in my footage and increasing the green value, as you can see in the graph. Now what I'm going to do is increase the gamma, increase the gain and decrease the offset, and now decrease the gain because right now my footage is overexposing, and decrease the lift right about here. Increase the gain and decrease the gamma, increase the gain and decrease the gamma, and decrease the offset right about here. Now this is before and this is after in our final node. If I play the video, I just decrease the red in my shot and increase the light on this side of my face. Now if I select all the node and show you, this is before and this is what we are just created in just under 10 minutes. So this is how you can color grade a flat footage for your YouTube videos. So this is our shot, and right now in this part we don't have any light. I have some lighting issue right on my face, and in the scope you can see the highlight are touching this line and the shadows are so damn sharp. So how do we add some light to our shot and balance our shot? First, to increase the light in our shot, we need to increase the gamma right about here, and we are going to increase the offset right about here. Now my shot is right now overexposing, so we are going to decrease gain right about here. Now I'm going to add some contrast by 0.1, 1.1. Now I'm going to increase the saturation, and we are done. This is before and this is what we are just created. So the next step is to add another node or serial and go to the masking window and select the circular mask, increase the mask size and place it around our subject. Now increase the softness of this mask. Now if you want to view the masking area, you need to press Shift H. So this is our masking area. Now I'm going to invert this mask by clicking on this icon. Now I'm going to increase the size of this mask and decrease the softness or increase the softness just a little bit right about here. Now I'm going to add some effects. So go to the effects and drag and drop the box blur. Now press Shift H, decrease the box blur right about here. Now I'm going to go to the custom curve, select this point, drag it down and add a point right here and increase a contrast right about here. Now go to the masking window and increase the softness of this mask and increase the size just a little bit. Now the next step is to add another serial. Go to the masking window, select the circular mask and increase the mask size and place it right about here. Now increase the softness. Now this time drag and drop the directional blur. Invert the mask, change the angle right about here and decrease the strength of this mask. So I know you want to ask why we are doing this, why we are making the background dull. So I want the viewer to focus on my subject, not the background, because as you can see my background is really messed up. So turn off the effects and add another serial. Drag it to this side. Now go to the curve, go to the hue versus hue and take this line and drag it right about here. Now as we do that, you will notice our skin tone is messed up. So how do we fix our skin tone? Select the red point, take this point and drag it below this line right about here. So this is before and this is after. Now our next step is to go to the custom curve and I'm going to add some highlight to our shot and I'm going to soft the shadows right about here. Now I'm going to increase the offset, decrease the gamma and decrease the lift. Now on some part of my video our shot is overexposing. So how do we avoid this? So go to the highlight and decrease the highlight, and as I'm doing this you can notice that our shot is now balancing. So I'm going to decrease it by -40 right about here. So this is before and this is after. Now I'm going to add a final serial, and in this serial I'm going to increase the contrast right about here. Now I'm going to increase my offset, increase gain, and now I'm going to decrease the highlight in our shot right about here. So now our shot is balanced and color grade. So now if I select all the nodes and press Ctrl D to off the node, so this is our original video and this is what we just created. So this is how you can color grade and color correct your videos for your YouTube content. So this is our video. The first step is we need to do is select this node, go to your color wheels, and I'm going to type -100 in highlight. Now the next step is to increase the gain a bit, and I'm going to increase my gamma just a little bit. Now the next step is to go to your offset and decrease it, and decrease your contrast right about here. Now go to your logs and decrease the highlight around -40 right about here. So this is before and this is after. Now the next step is to right click, add a serial, go to your masking window and select the circular mask, and I'm going to mask around my face. So increase the size and increase the softness to about 14 and place this right about here. Now go to your wheels, increase the gamma, increase the gain a bit and increase the contrast right about here. So this is before and this is after. Now our next step is to right click, add another serial, go to your masking window, again select the circular mask, and this time increase the size to 57 and increase this softness to 14, and I'm going to customize my shapes like this point and drag it to down right about here. Now go to your effects first, press Shift H to view the masking area, and I'm going to invert this mask. So click on this icon to invert the mask. We are going to affect the surrounding but not the face in this node. So go to your effects and search for light rays effect and drag and drop this effect onto this node. Now to hide the preview of the masking area, press Shift H once again, and in this effect source threshold type 0.287, and in the length type 1, in the softness also type 1, and in the brightness type 0.440. Now I am going to position my light rays. So this is the position control. I'm going to place this around here. So hide the effects, drag this to this area, zoom the window, and now in this effect I'm going to increase my offset right about here. Now the next step is to right click, add another serial, place this right here, go to the masking window, add a circular mask, go to a curve, back to the masking window to get these controls. Now increase the size, this time around 61, and increase the softness to around 14 and place this right about here. Now go to your color wheels and in mid and detail type -80, and what it does, it softs our skin tones. If I do before and after, this is before and this is after. Now the next step is to -87 in highlight and increase the gain, increase the gamma, increase the contrast a bit, and the next step is go to the HDR, and I'm going to add a slightly green color in this node. So in light, push this to the greenish side right about here, and in the shadow push this to also the greenish side right about here. So this is before and this is after. Now our next step is to add another serial, and this time go to the color warper, and I'm going to push this to this side right about here. Now what I'm going to do is decrease my offset all the way to the 7, and I'm going to increase my highlight, increase my gain, and I'm going to decrease my lift to about this. So this is before, this is after. In this node we subtract our light. So right click and add a final node, and this time go to your color wheels and in the gain push this to the yellow side right about here. So if I play the video, This is how you can get a smooth, dreamy kind of a look effect. Now you can also apply this effect to the other video. Just right click and grab the serial. Now add a clip. Go to the color wheels and check this gallery, and this is our still. So if I scroll from left to right side, you can see the preview. So if you want to apply this grade, just right click and apply the grade, and the grade will apply to our video. You need to change some things like the masking area. You have to place this to your face like this, and you have to change some slightly different settings to avoid this effect. So this is from the light rays effect. So what I'm going to do is go to the effects, and I'm going to decrease the brightness, and I'm going to change the angle a bit, and we are done. You can also apply this effect to your other videos. So this is how you can create a dreamy kind of a look effect in DaVinci Resolve. And now if you want to add more light to your shot, all you need to do is just select this node, go to the effects, change the angle of the light, and change the offset right about here, and select the second node, increase gamma, increase the gain right about here. So this is how you can add more light to your face in this grid. So the first thing that we need to do is, our shot is overexposing from this area, so we need to avoid this. To do that, all you need to do is just select your node, go to the color wheels and decrease the gain, and increase the gamma, and I'm going to increase my saturation right about 70. So this is before. As you can see in the scope, these colors are touching this line, and after, this is what we achieved. Now our next step is to create a serial. Go to the masking window and add the circular mask, and now in this node we are going to mask around my face. First decrease the size to around this value, and I'm going to increase the softness around 10. Now I'm going to customize the shape. Select this point, drag it down right about here, and now in this node what I'm going to do is just increase the gamma and increase the contrast just a bit. So this is before, this is after. Now add another serial, place this right here, and in this area what I'm going to do is just push this to the yellow side right about here. Now increase the offset, increase the gain, decrease the gamma overall, and decrease the lift right about here. So this is before, and this is what we achieved in this node. I'm going to decrease the gamma a bit right about here. So next step is to add another serial. Go to the masking window, and this time select the circular mask and increase the size, and place this right here, and increase the softness a bit right about here. Now to view the masking area, press Shift H, and we are going to affect the surrounding but not our subject. So how do we do that? We need to invert the mask. So click on this icon to invert the mask. Now press Shift H to hide the preview of this masking area. Now in this node what I'm going to do is just decrease the gain, decrease the gamma right about here. So this is before, this is what we achieved in this node. Now our next step is to, first we need to increase the softness and the size a bit right about here. Now our next step is to add another serial. Place this right here, go to the masking window, select the circular mask, and now what I'm going to do is just place it right here, increase the softness decrease the size a bit, and now go to the color wheels, increase the gain, increase the gamma, and increase the contrast a bit right about here, decrease the gain a bit right about here. So this is before, this is after. I am making my face to pop. Now one more thing that you should do to give this video a proper dark mode effect is right click here, select your first node, right click here, go to the add node and select this add serial before. Place this above, go to the effects, search for glow effect, add this glow effect onto this node, decrease the shine threshold to around 0.1, increase the spread to all the way to 2, decrease the gamma, increase the gain, increase the saturation. Now all you need to do is just change the filter color to like this color and increase the gamma a bit, decrease the gain right about here. And now if I play this video, this is how you can create a video to a dark moody effect. Now you can also apply this color grade to any of your footage. Just right click here, grab the still, add a video, go to the color page, go to the gallery, and this is our effect. Right click here and apply grade. Now one more thing that you should do when you apply the grade to other footage is change the masking area to your face like this, and this is how you can apply this color grade to any of your footage. If I show you, this is before and this is after. This is before and this is what we achieved in this grade. Now if you want to increase the green light coming from this light, all you need to do is just select your first node and decrease the shine threshold like this, and you will have this light effect from this area.